Insecurity. Federal government slashes budget of DSS, NIA, others by 26 billion naira. Several intelligence agencies like the Department of Security Services, National Intelligence Agency, and Defense Intelligence Agency have seen their budget slashed in the 2023 budget. Shaban Sharada, Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence, on Thursday disclosed this during a budget defense session. He stated that the budget of the intelligence agencies has been slashed from 221.7 billion in 2022 to 195.18 billion in 2023. Mr. Sharada also appealed to the government to end the envelope budget system for intelligence agencies. It is instructive to note that the total budget for the intelligence community was slightly reduced from 221.7 billion in 2022 to 195.18 billion in 2023, the lawmaker said. In his speech, the National Security Advisor Babagana Munguno said the recent onslaught against bandits and insurgents is traced to the intelligence supplied by the intelligence agencies. He stated that the problem of insecurity in this country requires a different approach that requires intelligence. Mr. Munguno said, in today's context, we can only overcome this problem when we recognize the importance of intelligence as being the driver and propellant of all activities in a whole of society approach. He stressed President Muhammadu Buhari has the desire to hand over to whoever is going to inherit what he is working on right now. A safer Nigeria. It is true, and I have to be very honest with you. So they slashed the budget of all intelligence agencies in Nigeria. So it used to be 221 point. They say it used to be 221.7. All right. In 2022, it dropped to 195.18 in 2023. Almost 26 billion naira has been removed from it. I'm sure they must have seen that they were bloating this budget over the years. All right? Because for the 7 years or 7.5 years that this government has been in power, and with all the humongous budget that have been given the security agencies, what have they achieved? The only thing they have achieved is even going to hit the local citizens that were trying to defend themselves. The key Boko Haram that are causing the problem, they have not been able to kill them. The ones that repented, they recruited them back into the military. So what are the intelligence agencies worked for? You understand? All the intelligence information they've been gathering about the ISWAP, the Boko Haram, and all the Fulani herdsmen causing problems in Nigeria, what have they done with them? At the end of the day, the information are being compromised. Soldiers will be on their way to the territory where they say the terrorists and bandits are located. Before you know, they ambush them and bomb them on the road and kill them. Meanwhile, those people are still there. So who is compromising the intelligence information? So they've gradually destroyed intelligence agencies in Nigeria, because the people that are in the intelligence group are also now divided somehow. You can't give intelligence information, and before you know it, a Boko Haram member who has been reintegrated into the military will release that same information to his own people, and the soldiers that are going to fight insurgency will be ambushed unexpectedly with accurate information. And rather than ambushing and killing the bandit will in turn ambush and kill the soldiers. So what is the use of national intelligence agencies and all the intelligence groups in Nigeria, both private and public? So it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense. In Nigeria, all security budget should be slashed. Like the state government have their security votes that cannot be investigated, and whatever they do with the money, nobody investigates it. And so what people do is they use that security vote as a means of loot. For all the state governments in Nigeria, including the northeast Borno state where the problem started from, their security vote, what have they done with the money, especially all the state governors? Because one thing that is happening in Nigeria is that nobody asks the governors question. Nobody asks the governors what they are doing with the money. All eyes on federal government and other agencies. The governors themselves, so what are they doing with the money given to them, especially the security vote? So it should not be only intelligence agencies' budget that should be slashed. The security vote of the governors should also be slashed, because we really don't know what they're doing with the money inside that security vote, and they don't account for it. How can you set certain money aside for certain purpose and say that purpose or that fund should not be audited and should not be investigated and should not be checked how it is being spent or used? So the thing is funny. So they shouldn't slash only the intelligence agency's budget by almost 26 billion naira. They should also look inward. What are other security portfolios in this country that we are voting money, putting huge money into every year as budget, and we're not getting result? And apart from the security votes of the state governments and even federal government, what about other aspects of the 2023 budget? What about the history of budget padding? In what aspect or in what ways are governors and heads of parastatals hiding money inside budget by padding it, so that by the time the budget is released, they begin to take out their own cut out of the budget? So this intelligence agency group have done their own part by slashing the budget. They didn't tell us why they even slashed the budget in the first place. Is it that the budget of 2022 was underspent and they had a surplus that were returned back to the government coffers? Or is it that they gave them the budget and they don't know how to spend the money for 2022? They spent and finished it without accounting for it? What did they find out, as a reason before making this decision to slash their budget? Because the only reason you slash budget is when the previous year's budget was underspent. It means that they gave them money and they couldn't finish it because it was too much or surplus for them, surplus budgeting. So what system do is that next session or next year, they will cut back such budget and then transfer the fund to some other department that were under budgeted for, and then to make those people also more functional. Or the other side again, where you cut budget, is when you found that the budget system, the budget that was given to a system was misused, largely misused, or later discovered that most of the items written in the budget were actually not realistic, but mistakenly budgeted for, and the money has been spent. The next time is to scrutinize the budget from such parastatal or for such entity again, and be sure that irrelevant things are not in the budget. Because one of the things that can lead to cutting of budget is when it is being screened and found that a lot of irrelevant things are included in the budget, and then you yank them off because they are not necessary. That also reserves some money for some other purposes. But this is what the intelligence department has done, what federal government has done to the budget of the intelligence department. Example of the DSS, the National Intelligence Agency, and some other intelligence agencies in Nigeria. Federal government has slashed their budget, and they've not told us why they slashed their budget. So, but we just hope that this slashing of this budget will also not lead to incapacitation of intelligence agencies again, and then lead to aggravate the insecurity problem that we are in. Because whatever this government is doing for 2023 budget, the next person coming in as president is likely going to inherit it, because he is going to start off with the budget that this government is approving for next year. I hope they are not creating some loopholes and problems for the incoming president to solve, because whatever they do with this budget will definitely affect the first year in office for the next president that's coming next year after the general election. All of that have to be properly x-rayed as well. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment and your view for sharing.